Good afternoon. This is the time and place for the Legal and Finance Committee meeting for December 27, 2023, and we'll start with a roll call and determination of quorum.
Beaverdorf.
Present.
Evans.
Here.
Maher.
Here.
Secret.
Here.
Stroman.
Here. Okay, I think we have a quorum, and now the next item will be adoption of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Evans, second by Sechrist to adopt the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is general public comment. This is a time for the members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the council on any issue not on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda, except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of the council members present. And I don't believe I have any speaker request forms. So I'm going to close public comment. Then we'll go on to consent items 1 through 6. And I'll open public comment on consent items 1 through 6. Still having no speaker request forms. I'm going to close public comment on consent items 1 through 6. Does any member wish to remove any items from the consent items and vote on remaining consent items, or at this time? Okay, so then we'll move ahead with approval of the minutes for December 13, 2023.
Move to approve.
Motion by Sechrist, second by Evans to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, we'll go to Finance Department Director Ainsley for items 2 and 3.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Item 2 is, again, just to ensure that some of the volunteers with our RSVP program are covered via Workman's Comp, and so we're just listing those volunteers. The next one is a grant that our grants manager is applying for. It requires a 50% match. It is the wildfire mitigation program. Essentially, it helps to pay for some tree and debris removal in the urban forest interface. By doing so, it reduces the likelihood of a catastrophic fire during fire season. And this has been reviewed by the fire department. I believe the fire department's in support of the grant as well.
Okay, thank you, Director Ainsley. Any questions from council on items 2 and 3? Or comments? Take a motion on 2 and 3.
Move to approve.
Motion by Maher, second by Evans to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we'll go to the fire department. Chief Culberson?
Thanks. It seems like it's going to be my agenda today. I got most of them. So number 4 is our second amendment to our agreement between the IAFF Local 1040 and us for the union contract. Most of it's going to be some clerical changes, and we did some, we added the advanced EMT into the pay matrix. So there's just some minor adjustments. The union's already approved it and have signed it. Number 5 will be authorization to purchase our next aerial platform, our next ladder truck. Truck 3, which is out at Station 3 on the west side of town, has hit its life expectancy of 15 years. There's a total of 20 years is what we planned through the NFPA. That's the recommendation. So 15 years, it's hit its 15th year, and then we'll go into a reserve status. We have about 2 years for this truck to be built, so it'll be at year 17 when that truck gets here. It will go to Station 1. Current truck at Station 1 will then move to Station 3. We're moving them to kind of decrease the wear and tear. As most of you know, Station 1, Truck 1's the busiest truck in our city, including probably the state. So it gets ran quite a bit and has a lot of wear and tear. So we move it out to 3 to increase its maintenance lifespan so they don't have to work on it quite so much. And that's the rotation we've been doing for quite some time. This is in line with our large vehicle replacement plan. That's why we have the money placed in CIP, so it can extend out through and we can plan to purchase these vehicles. Number 6, the purchase agreement or the agreement with Convergent to install the security and access technology and new Station 1 in the additions that are being put up and also the remodel. So just signing that contract with them so we can continue construction.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions or discussion from council?
Move to approve 4, 5, and 6.
I have a motion by Bieberdorf
Second.
and a second by Sechrist to approve 4, 5, and 6. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we'll go on to non-consent items 7 through 8. I'll open public comment on the non-consent items, and having no speaker request forms, I'm going to close public comment. Go on to number 7. I'll read into the item and then just see if the Finance Department has any additional comment. It's introduction, first reading of ordinance 6600 regarding supplemental appropriation number 1 for 2024, and go to Director Ainsley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. This item is for the first supplemental appropriation for the 2024 budget. It is for $250,000 out of the general fund. That would come from undesignated cash. This is to fund a new program that is being proposed. It is the Security Specialist program, and this would provide funding for 2 full-time security specialists as well as a part-time individual who would be able to take over when one of the 2 are out sick or on personal leave. This has been an item that has been discussed and requested by city staff for several years, and finally this plan has been supported by the administration and is being put forward before you for consideration. The primary areas where the security specialists would cover is City Hall, as well as the Roosevelt Recreational Center, and also to a degree the parking ramp. We do hope that if this is successful, that it could be expanded and eventually include the library and change from the private security over to these security specialists. Some of the additional requests in here, just so everyone is aware, the supplies and materials are fairly high at $41,000. Those are kind of one-time expenses. It's going to be for radios so that the individuals can communicate directly with the police department. Those radios should be good for quite some time, and so it's not annually that expense would be there, as well as some additional door contact sensors around City Hall and the Roosevelt Swim Center, as well as some additional cameras, and then screens that would be placed in the new the screens that would be placed in the new station that would be on the first floor of City Hall. There's also furniture in here that would be for the new desks that would be in there. I'm happy to answer any questions if the council has any.
Thank you, Director Ainsley. Are there any questions or comments from council? Okay, go to Josh Bieberdorf.
I'm not sure if it's for you, Daniel, but I love the idea. I think it's a great idea. Will the person be able to be an ambassador to sorts as well when they're kind of off duty? Like, where do I go? Where do I pay my bills? That type of stuff. Is that part of the plan?
Go ahead.
Yes, that is the idea. They would be uniformed, not in a police uniforms. They would not be sworn law enforcement, but they would be a security presence. But we're proposing to do that to ensure that they are more of that welcoming sense and be able to guide guests to whatever department they're trying to look for, as well as hopefully have just some information if individuals come in and are looking for, where do they go for their building permit, or where do they go to pay their water bill, that sort of thing. And so hopefully it's more than just a security presence, but also just a friendly greeting place to welcome residents and hopefully guide them to where they need to go.
I move to approve number 7.
Second.
I have a motion by Bieberdorf, second by Sechrist to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is community development, second reading and recommendation of ordinance number 6595, an ordinance amendment to Chapter 17 of the Municipal Code to remove planned development requirements for more than one building in an apartment complex. And we'll go to Director Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So you saw this at your last Legal and Finance Committee meeting as well as your last City Council meeting. As previously noted, a multifamily development is a permitted use in medium-density residential, high-density residential, and office commercial. However, because of the definition of principal use, if they have more than one building, it triggers a planned development. In essence, what we're asking the Planning Commission and sometimes the City Council to do is to review an item that you can't deny by land use. We can only look at the design standards. By allowing these to be permitted, similar to a single-family residential structure, we still have the underlying zoning to rely upon that will go to setbacks, parking, lot coverage, height, open space for each individual unit. There has to be 400 square foot of usable open space inside and or outside the building. Those design elements will still be in place. If they should deviate from them, they will now need to secure a variance from the Zoning Board of Adjustment, which will trigger the public hearing and put the neighborhood on notice. As I mentioned previously, we have had some developers who, to circumvent the system, have put in one large building in lieu of smaller separated buildings in order to avoid the planned development process. This creates a structure that doesn't fit well with the residential development it's typically located in. It becomes a hindrance to the neighbors who in most instances would much rather prefer the smaller buildings. When we looked at our affordable housing draft policy that we brought forward in 2016, one of the things that we were charged with is creating a way to eliminate barriers to housing. And this is one of the big steps we can take. It allows for those institutions and organizations that are submitting for HUD funding, there's a box they can check. Has the city done something to eliminate a barrier? Rapid City's been slow in doing this. This will be a big step in the right direction. Finally, we have about 25% of our planned developments that are just for apartments. 0 have been denied, all have been approved. It's only to ensure that they meet those design standards. And so in order to expedite the process for the developers to go straight to the building permit and to alleviate the work from staff that haven't increased in numbers in all the years I've worked here, we see this as a step forward for both internal customer service as well as external. We are again requesting your support in this ordinance amendment.
Thank you, Director Fisher. Any comments from the committee?
I just do have one question for her.
Okay, we'll go to Bill Evans.
I'm going to go back to your little comment you just made. Your staff has not increased in how long?
We have not increased the number of planners or plans examiners or building inspectors since I started working here, which is a little over 29 years.
And yet our budget is quintupled in that time, so that money's going somewhere. Maybe we need to take a look at that, because I think that good planning actually saves you money in the long run. Thank you.
Any other comments? Motion approved by Beaverdorf, second by Maher. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Last item is Alderman items. Anyone want to discuss anything? Okay. I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Evans, second by Sechrist. We're all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.